greeting to you in peace from God our Father and from the Lord Jesus Christ. I was glad when they said to me, "Let us go into the house of the Lord." I'm Father Steve Sellers, and thank you for tuning in today for this brief message of hope. I pray that your day is off to a great start and that you are finding hope in the midst of everything that's going on all around us. And there's so much going on around us today that it's hard to keep track with what the days are and what the restrictions are and what the confinement orders are. You know, how many students can go into a building at the same time. We're going through a crazy time now. And I just want to sort of change pace a little bit because there's some important messages that I've been getting about people who are feeling very lonely now. And I did a little research last night, and 25% of the people in the U.S. now claim that they have no one to talk to. No one. Now that's pretty frightening. Those aren't just the elderly people locked away by themselves. 25% say they have no one to talk to. That's very dangerous. And the fact is, our lives depend on social contact. You know, we read all the time, and experts come out and talk about the importance of diet and exercise and regular diet and regular exercise and keeping a positive attitude. And few people talk about that secret ingredient in leading to a longer and happier life: socialization. We need other people. Studies are now showing dramatically that face-to-face contact is so much more important than digital contact. Talking over a network, even a FaceTime network. There's something about looking eyeball to eyeball and giving a high five or a pat on the back or shaking a hand. That raises all these wonderful things in our system that help us to be happier and healthier. One of the studies I was looking at from Brigham Young University said that decreased social connections is more harmful than smoking 15 cigarettes a day and being obese. Now that's quite a lot if we think about what happens when we decrease our social connections. It also shows that eye contact, high five, shaking hands, it releases transmitters like oxytocin, dopamine, which is sort of nature's own natural morphine that relaxes us and helps us live longer. A study I came across in the British Medical Journal says, frankly, that loneliness kills. It does. People who are deprived of social contact go downhill pretty fast. They're taking years, if not decades, off their life by decreasing social patterns that we all need. So, of course, science won't tell us what I know, and most of us who practice a religious faith know, is that prayer is so incredibly important for a longer and a healthier life. Prayer and regular attendance at worship, which is the most important sort of socialization that we can get when we gather with a group of people who are praising and worshiping the Lord. But when we deprive ourselves of that, or when the law tells us we can't do it, we suffer a great penalty for that. 25% of us right now say they don't have anyone to talk to. Now that's striking. I also did a little research and found out that the little island of Sardinia, right off the coast of Italy, has 6 times as many centenarians, 100-year-old people, as mainland Italy. And it has 10 times as many centenarians, 100-year-old people, as does the United States. Not only that, on the little island of Sardinia, men live as long as women do. And that may have something to do with the fact that the people are socialized better. But in the rest of the world, women outlive men in the United States by 5 years. And the biggest gap between the mortality of men and women is in Russia, where women outlive men by 11 years. So there's a Harvard study that's been ongoing since 1938 1938, it's had 5 different directors of it. It's a study of longevity and what makes for a longer and a happier existence. Now, a study that's been going on since 1938, in the midst of the Great Depression that's going on until now, they've come up with what they say is the most important ingredient in having a long and a happy life. And there are 3 things they mention: relationships, relationships, relationships. It's that important to us. And we know that we have the Lord Jesus with us in the midst of all that we do. Let him guide us. Let him guide us to make contact with others. I don't recommend making cold calls. I used to make cold calls for most of my ministry, going out and doing visitations. We don't really do that anymore because people are isolated and they're wearing their masks even in their house, and it's awkward, and I wear a mask and I wear a face shield, and it's confusing to some people. What I'm doing now is calling ahead of time and making sure they're there and finding a convenient time to stop by, because no amount of telephones, FaceTime messages, no amount of emails, no amount of texting is gonna take the place of face-to-face socialization. We need it more than we realize now. And so I encourage all of us, if you have relatives in care facilities, make an appointment and go see them. Now, often they make you see through a glass. They don't let you get there. And we're doing this at great harm to those who are locked away, because even perceived loneliness takes a great toll. There's something about waving at a grandchild or a great-grandchild through several windows out while they're out on the yard looking in. That's not satisfying for anyone. And so I know we're working on getting this coronavirus under control right as we're heading into flu season now, but there are studies showing that the flu shot is helping people with developing immunities for the coronavirus even. So a lot of things are going now, but there are people in your life that are isolated. Reach out to them, make a phone call. There's something so impersonal about an email or even a text message, and a lot of people don't use those at all anyway. Make a phone call and follow it up with a visit, even if you're on the front porch and just making contact through the doorway. It's important. It may be life-saving for some people. So studies are backing up what we have sort of felt by intuition for many years, that it's not good for people to be locked up, and especially in isolation, like we've been doing with this the quarantine that we're under now. It's taking a bigger toll than we realize. The levels of depression, 10% of the people are now having suicidal thoughts. If they're locked away in quarantine, the levels of depression and anxiety are going way up. We've got a mess on our hands with the mental health of the U.S. when they say that you can't go to church, but it's okay to go out and march in a crowd of people. Some people are starting to look at that in a funny way, and they should. We need to ask questions, and asking questions does not mean you're someone's enemy. That's the way we're treated if we ask questions. Well, you're the enemy now. No, there are no enemies in this. We're in it together, and that's what socialization is for, to help us realize that we're all in this together. And so I hope that you have a blessed day today, and that you will reach out to someone who's near to you, who's lonely. And if you're lonely, pray that someone reaches out to you. If not, you reach out to them. Do it by phone. Call them. We all have phone calls that are way overdue in our lives, and we have visits that are way overdue. Let's take care of those, and remember that the Lord goes with us in all of that. He wants us to be together. He wants us to share His love with each other. He doesn't love us with all His heart and with all His soul and with everything that He has so that we can hoard it in us. No, He loves us with everything He has so that we can, first of all, love Him with everything we have and share it with those around us. Have a blessed day today, and I will see you again right here tomorrow. God bless you.